cross spawns like some of the MLG or other custom maps. Spiderslayer is a Master League player, Perseus a Diamond, but even though we've seen, some mismatch of leagues, it's been very, very even games.
In the lower right, we have the yellow Zerg, who in Game 1 had a hard time getting things going, but in Game 2 fell into the groove. Can he pull out Game 3? It is Spiderslayer.
In the lower left, our Terran player that had a lot of success in Game 1, struggled a little bit more in Game 2. Both identical mech plays. It's Perseus. So it looks like Perseus is rallying an SCV directly to Spiderslayer's base. So it looks like he's going to get the scout that he wants.
The Overlord going to the northern base from Spiderslayer, so he is not going to be seeing anything for a little bit.
Take that back. That's not a scout. It was just a long rally to the ramp to build that supply depot.
That would have been a very early scout.
I was going to say, I wondered if he was maybe sniffing some cheese in the air or something, but turns out he's just building a supply depot. I'm sorry, Overlay. I'm sorry. There. Sorry. I need to have my preview above me rather than to the left. I get too excited when I get into these games. I forget about everything. I just want to talk about the game.
Make a list.
Make a list, yeah.
Perseus is moving in with the scout, seeing not a lot, but he does see that drone heading out to put down the hatch, and he is going to block it. So Spiderslayer just moves on to the third, says, I'm not even going to bother playing around with you today.
We haven't seen any bunker rushes out of Perseus. I think that probably eats into his, looks like pretty well orchestrated mech build that he likes. Looks like he's got one gas down so far, so at this point it looks like the factory will be soon to follow as in the previous games. We'll see what this SCV decides to build as he stands around.
Perseus almost gets the block on that spawning pool, but at the last second pulls away. Not that it would have delayed it very much.
But he's going to use his drilling hand to just poke, poke, poke.
You know, you'd think that a drill like that would do a decent amount of damage.
Spiderslayer calls out the fact that the SCV is...
Oh, man. Rogue SCV.
Oh, instead of that factory... We're going to have the factory coming down. What's this SCV going to build as we get to 90 gas? I'm sure we'll see as soon as we hit 100.
There's some good banter going on in the game. The players are clearly well-mannered and having a lot of fun with the tournament.
There goes that factory down. Second base out in front pops for Spiderslayer. Keeping their idle APM busy by chatting to each other. Definitely am impressed with this event. We've had a lot of well-mannered players. Everyone's just super happy to just be playing each other. That's the nice thing about these LAN events is, a lot of people come with friends. A lot of people playing in the tournament now are actually still friends, so there's some mind games going on since they know their own play styles.
So we see factory going down and then command center almost immediately after from Perseus, and we do see a Roach Warren coming down from Spiderslayer, so it's possible we'll see a similar opening that we've seen from Spiderslayer the past two games.
It would be interesting to see the same thing in Game 3 as it went two different ways. That Queen is going to take a few jabs at that SCV. Looks like she will be able to get him. Going down.
Reaper heading out now.
Perseus still hasn't gotten much of a scout. He's seen a barracks. Bob is dead. Perseus has... Spiderslayer's only seen Perseus's barracks and refinery so far, so he doesn't know exactly what's coming, but a Reaper is out, which is a variation from the previous games. He's just going to be poking around. Reapers can't really do a lot of damage with the Queen since they were nerfed quite a bit in Heart of the Swarm, but they're just more of a pesky gnat as opposed to something that can come in and kill you.
Doing the trade on the tech lab with the barracks and the factory. Made a starport, but is keeping it idle currently.
No mine out yet. Looks like a tech lab on the factory this time as opposed to a reactor.
And here comes the giant Roach swell moving across the map.
Perseus has a giant food lead right now at 51 to 35. There is a bunker here, 2 Hellions. He's going to have a hard time holding these roaches off, but I think Perseus has an idea of what's coming as he has those SCVs ready around the bunker, but
Ready
only
to
one
repair.
Marine in there is not going to do a whole lot of... as he loads up 2 more Marines, as he continues to repair that, it's going to poke away at these roaches. Looks like he's going to focus on that supply depot, but the SCVs know their duty in life to go over and repair that. As
Another
these
roach falls.
roaches
As
are
the
gonna-
tank comes out, is he going to siege it? Is he just going to let it do
like he
its
doesn't
thing?
need siege it. Spiderslayer targeting those SCVs to get a few SCV kills there, but Perseus doesn't lose anything in that battle except the SCVs. 5 workers killed for Spiderslayer. Looks like some mules being called down. Double gas. Command center built in his base. Full bunker with a medevac coming out. So I'm expecting, looks like a mine and Hellions. I'm expecting, I think in game 1 he did the Hellion mine push. Maybe he's going to be loading these up in that medevac.
Spiderslayer decides that he's going to take his 3rd base, and we still see Perseus has a Reaper kind of hanging out in the middle of the right of the map, waiting for the prime opportunity to come in.
Spiderslayer now sees that natural going down as the medevac zooms by. There was a roach in good position, so I have a feeling he saw that, but there's no way to tell for sure as there has been some missing of those drops in previous games. Perseus is now supply blocked.
Reaper comes back in to do a little bit of poking. Does
Nice
get a drone kill.
Reactionary spore crawlers there to detect the mines and also be able to shoo away the medevac, but that mine does get some good kills as it kills 5 drones. But that mine will not last very long. 3rd base now getting some roasting by those Hellions. Mostly just gonna let Spiderslayer know he's there. Looks like the roaches are kind of just chilling, not gonna come down too much. 2 come down, but it just lifts up in the medevac and moves back into the main. But it's gonna be pretty much the same result as it was before.
Well, the Queen is pretty low on health, so if he can target it down, but no, he decides, nope, I'm just going to get out of there.
Did he see that Spire? I'm gonna go back and hit that medevac.
He knows that it's there, but he didn't see that it finished. I'm
saw
sure
it-
at this point
he saw it
can-
being built. The question is, did he click it to figure out what it was?
That it's a pretty distinctive looking little blob in the ground, though.
It is.
4th base goes down for Spiderslayer. He is just playing swarm style. He's loving it. 5
This is-
Mutalisks in production, about to pop.
This is a good look at this game. It's looking just like his game 2, in which he did really well. Looks like the mutas are out now, where he... Oh, the mutas find that medevac. Is he going to be able to get it down before it drops? Only a few HP left. Target that medevac, and he's going to lose 3 or 4 Marines in that and clean up the few that were drops. He's done a much better job this game of actually stopping the drops, as last game he actually got a few in, and that was a bit of an issue for him.
We're not
So-
seeing as many drones as we did last game at this point as we did in the previous game.
He still does have a drone lead at 41 to 35. But I have a feeling once that 4th base comes up, there's going to be a swell of drones. But he hasn't really made any good pushes to secure himself enough to really start droning out.
Absolutely.
12 Zerglings now in production for Spiderslayer. +1/+1 for those Zerglings as well. Haven't seen any... Oh, here comes the big drone up as 9 drones are in production after the Zerglings finish. Looks like Terran is also putting down some turrets. 3 in production now. Possibly going to be a couple more. 1 mine. He knows these mutalisks are on the field, so now he has to turtle in a little bit.
Spiderslayer is positioning those Mutalisks to kind of come in and do a little bit of harass. He's scoping out, seeing if there's any bases that he wasn't aware of previously. He's not going to find anything, so he's just going to roll on in and do what damage he can.
Looks like he could possibly take out that SCV and delay the armory a little bit, but the mines and marines are going to come up. Delays that command center.
And he
killing
sees
the
those
SCV.
mines and runs out of there.
Looks like he's just going to poke a little bit, kill a couple of those marines, not get hit by any mines. He knows where they are. He's being smart about this and getting out, and just as happy with letting Perseus know that he's around and that Perseus is going to have to be very defensive at the moment. Looks like an SCV headed out. Maybe he wants to put down a third
Spiderslayer
base.
doing a really good job of running around the map, making sure that there's no hidden expansions being taken, nothing to surprise him in the later game.
Infestation pit now coming down for Perseus. I wonder if this is going to be just a gateway to the hive tech, or if he's actually going to maybe try some swarm hosts this game. My guess is it's just going to be for the hive tech and ultras.
That's right.
as +1/+1 finishes, +2/+2 melee, and carapace going down. Baneling speed going down as well. We didn't see a whole lot of banelings the last game. Maybe that will be a transition. 20 lings in production, 9 more drones. Those new lists are going to come in and be able to scare away that command center as there's no defense there for Perseus.
Wouldn't mind getting held up by those tanks on the ramp a little bit. They're trying to get over there to get in position.
The only defense Perseus has against those Mulists is those mines right now. He has no other units that shoot up.
And it looks like that command center may actually fall.
It does look that way. It's getting
but
low.
those mines are there, and he's taking major hits.
Those mines. Oh, that was a big swing for Perseus, taking all of those Mulists.
And Spiderslayer knows that that was a misstep by him. That was a great bait by Perseus with the flaming command center. Spiderslayer really wanted to get it down.
Spiderslayer throws up a hearty lull, letting him know that that was not good for him. Spiderslayer has 2 gas geysers at his natural that do not have any drones in them. Looks like he's now rallying the drones.
And a little playful banter about the loss of the Mutalisks happening.
Perseus now starting to move out with the tanks and the mines. Looks like there's a couple Thors in production as Hive is now going down for Spiderslayer. This is going to be a really nasty push since he doesn't have those mutants anymore, but lots of Banelings in production. Look at all those Banelings, 27 Banelings. With the Baneling speed, if he manages those mines, he can really get in or swing in from behind on those tanks. Looks like Perseus is keeping the mines to the front. So if Spiderslayer can see that, obviously, with the mines burrowing on creep and get those Banelings around the back. It's like he's pulling his drones out, knowing this is impending. This is going to be an interesting push. Oh,
and
all the mines are burrowed. He's going to move in with the Banelings and kill. Oh my goodness. Did not get as many tank kills as he wanted, but he took out most of those mines with 4.
Does bait the remainder of the shots. There are 2 Thors there, but the Roaches are coming in.
Thors have +1 attack, Roaches have +1 attack as well. But it looks like trouble for Spiderslayer right now.
Still not enough.
Still 3 or 4 mines burrowed. Oh, there's actually there's 6 mines there under those units. So Spiderslayer now with the base lead that does not have many units. 14 Roaches about to pop. One comes right into trouble, but baits one of those mines off. Roach is trying to attack the tank from the high ground, but can't reach it.
Can't quite get it. Just trying to get whatever he can off, and now the scan, those Roaches are going to take huge damage from those tank blasts. Thors loses most of them.
This is looking pretty bad for Spiderslayer.
Spiderslayer is about 4,000 minerals behind in the units lost tab.
Spiderslayer does have a nice bank. He just does not have any injects. He does have an inject going there, but he doesn't have as many larvae as I think he needs. The Ultralisk Den just now going down. 7 Desperation Mutalisks in production. He's still going to have to be careful of those mines.
Tanks continue to move up the ramp, trying to get into the main, nailing that Baneling nest. The lone Roach eating many tank blasts.
Mutalisk about to pop, Zergling's about to pop, Ultralisk Den about to pop, but he just does not have the gas for his Ultralisk, and I don't think he's going to be able to get it.
A few Roaches heading towards the middle of the map, just trying to cut off reinforcements, maybe do a little bit of a counterattack, but they are just getting met by tanks and getting chewed up.
Broodling's swinging with that batch of Zerglings to take out one tank. He's got to be real careful of these mines. If one goes off, kills one Mutalisk, but he's just out of range of the other mines. He's going to be able to clean up these tanks. That Zergling very pesky. The tanks turn around to squash it. Nice creep spread again from Spiderslayer. He's working his way towards Terran. Now the question is, how does he stabilize?
And there's 3 mines at the base of Spiderslayer's ramp that are just doing a lot of damage as he's got those Mutalisks rallied there. I don't think he sees them there.
Cooldown is about to finish on one as the Muta comes right into view. Oh, it's going to be one dead Mutalisk, it looks like.
And the Observer does come in so they can clean those up.
Cleaned it up. A bunch of Hellions coming across the map. This is a pretty similar look to previous games. Hellions poking around. Spiderslayer does have a large food advantage, but I believe it's mostly the Zerglings. He's got 30 Zerglings on the field, 45 drones. The worker count is even. Terran does have mules, though.
You have your overlay backwards. It's actually Perseus who has the food advantage.
I have my overlay backwards. Well then.
Lings are running on the north side of the map, trying to see if they can find any other bases, wrap around to try and get to that third, with Hellions in the now third of Spiderslayer.
Throwing me off because the yellow's on the right side of the map, but on the left side of the overlay in-game. Zergling's coming into the third. Not going to be a lot there. He's going to get a few worker kills. The Hellions come in to protect that. Going to be shoving those Zerglings away.
Spiderslayer trying to get an Ultralisk count up, but he is having a hard time getting the gas. And those Hellions just chew through those Zerglings.
Hellions look like they were able to take out this base up here, so now Spiderslayer is down to 3 bases, which puts him on equal footing with the Terran of Perseus. A lot of Hellions on the map. 23 Zerglings still now for Spiderslayer, but that's going to be not much of a match. Baneling Nest coming down after the first one was killed.
And Perseus getting a good look at what's going on there. He doesn't see a whole lot, so he decides these Hellions are going to do some damage. Eats through a few Lings, but then meets some Spine Crawlers and some Ultralisks, waits for the tanks and the Thors, which siege up and start doing some big damage. Those Spine Crawlers do fall. Ultralisks pull back. He's trying to buy some time as his Baneling Nest is about ready to finish, and he's going to want to morph those Zerglings into Banelings as soon as that happens. And he gets as many as he can.
One Ultralisk sitting idle at the ramp here, but I'm not sure that's going to make a difference. The Zerglings are going to be...
He's got to protect those Banelings from those Hellions, but they're going straight for the drones. And the Banelings do pop. They're trying to chase down the Hellions, but they are just getting picked off with some micro.
Looking like a tough spot for Spiderslayer again, now down by 100 food. He's going to have a pretty much impossible time coming back from this, and it looks like it's going to be Perseus that takes the game. But this is not the first game this weekend that has gone this way and then swung around, so you never know.
More drones being killed. Spiderslayer is down to 11 drones.
One Mutalisk and a couple drones come in to fight for the swarm, but they do not do much damage. The Zerglings coming in to surround and try and take out a couple of these Thors. Looks like they might get one. Not even quite that. That Ultralisk is still there. One Thor is going to fall. The other one comes close. Well, Spiderslayer is definitely feeling the hurt as he's down to barely a mining base with only a few drones. As Perseus starts to siege his tanks up into Spiderslayer's base with those Thors. This is going to be the killing blow, most likely.
It does look that way. There's really no units to speak of, and there's
GG for Spiderslayer. That was a great match. Spiderslayer just had a hard time with that mech composition. In Game 2, he really got on top of it, but it seems like it's very, very touchy for him. Like, if he losing those Mutalisks was tough because that kept Terran pinned in his base, and once those Mutalisks were off the map, he was able to move out more with those units that can't shoot up.
Yep, you're absolutely right. It's interesting to see how just subtle variations because we saw the same builds from both players in all 3 games, more or less, and it's just subtle variations that made the difference between winning and losing.